to Technology with Mike. This show is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network at techpodcast.com. If it's tech, it's here. And now for your host, Mike Tartaglia. From Central Massachusetts, welcome to Technology with Mike. I'm your host, Mike Tartaglia, and I'm here to make technology easier to understand. This is show number 43 for Sunday, August 9th, 2009, and I titled it originally, Blackberries Don't Grow on Trees. Thanks for listening to the show and downloading the podcast each and every week. Here's some information to contact us if you like. The live show number, if you want to call and ask your questions after the show, we'll take questions after the recording's done. The number for that is area code 724-444-7444, and the call ID is 24742. You can contact us via email at techwithmike@gmail.com, and you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/techwithmike, but when they're not crashed like they did last week. You can also listen to the show and past shows by either subscribing to the podcast feed at our site, along with viewing show notes for each show, and signing into our forums to discuss different aspects of technology or ask your technology questions. All this can be done from our site at techwithmike.com. There is a new way to leave us a voicemail message, and what's that? Oh, a new way to leave us a voicemail message. And what you can do is you can go to our Tech with Mike website, and on the right side you'll see a Google Voice icon, and you can click on that, enter your phone number, and what will happen is it'll call your phone, and it'll connect you to the voicemail system for us, and it will allow you to leave a message. And what happens is I'll get that voicemail in email, and it'll all be transcribed into text. So whatever you say will be sent to my email, and I'll be able to read it. So it's a great way to get your questions into the show. You can also find the show on iTunes and Microsoft Zune Marketplace. Just search for Technology with Mike. So first things first, I'm not doing live video for a while. So before I used to go to live.techwithmike.com, I'm going to be just recording the video until I get better hardware to do live. And so it'll give us a better quality video. So for the show agenda, we're going to be talking to a couple guests on our show about some Blackberries. But before that, I'm going to go over a summary of last show, which was show number 42. But before I do that, I'd like to pay the bills. Technology with Mike is brought to you by techpodcast.com, where you can listen to a variety of technology podcasts. If it's tech, it's here. And by registerjustright.com, where you can reserve your corner of the internet at competitive prices. Register your website's domain, subscribe to high-quality website hosting plans, and even receive free email accounts with every domain purchased. Visit registerjustright.com today. And by Pixely. Pixely is an on-demand document management service that helps you aggregate, organize, bind, and share paper and electronic documents. Visit them at pixely.com. That's pixily.com. Sign up today and use the coupon code TechWithMike to receive $5 off your order. Okay, so that last sponsor I just had, that was Pixely.com. Like I said, the coupon code TechWithMike when you go there, and they usually send you an envelope every month where you just stuff your envelope with documents that you want scanned, and they put them on their website, and everything's all electronic now. They send them back to you too if you like. They also give you the option to shred them. Okay, so I'm going to do some introductions here. First, I'm going to introduce Will Hebert from CPUtext.net. Hi, Will.
Hi.
If you want to put your microphone down a little lower, I made a mistake. Sorry. Yeah, just pull it down a little bit. You might have to talk a little closer.
How's that?
We forgot to look at the video before, after I did that. So now you just see this microphone in your face. So tell us a little bit about CPU Text.
Just a third-party consultant company. Help people with networks and their home PCs and small businesses.
Oh, okay. So it's sort of like a mini IT company?
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And then we have over to his right, the name sounds familiar, Ben Tartaglia. He's my dad. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Mike.
He's from International Disaster Recovery Association at IDRA.com. Tell us a little bit about that.
IDRA.com, we founded it in 1989, and we deal with two aspects, and they're both telecommunications disaster recovery related. One aspect is keeping telecom systems up and running, and the other one is using telecommunications during contingency planning and disaster recovery planning. So that's what our focus is, and very interesting. We're at www.idra.com, and there's a contact us. And by the way, that website was done by webjustright.com, an affiliate of Tech with Mike.
That would be me. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we have to redo that site. It's outdated. It's not Web 2.0 by any means. So, well, we want to. I want to talk about what the reasons why I wanted to do a BlackBerry show. I use a BlackBerry for work, and so does Will, and my dad also uses a BlackBerry. So we get everybody in here to talk about different versions. But the other day, I was ready to go out and buy an iPhone. And I know it's expensive and all that stuff, but I wanted to get it so I can review it for the show and use it for other stuff related to the show. You know, I was ready to fork out, what was it, like $400 or something? Then you get a $60 a month plan or whatever. It's just outrageous prices. But so I was ready to do it. Already convinced myself. And then the next day, the day I was actually going to do it, I heard on the news that Apple, through their infinite wisdom, decided to block the Google Voice application. They weren't allowing Google Voice to be installed on their phone. And you know Apple has a tight grasp on any type of application that gets installed on their device. And sorry, Dad, you were still being viewed. This is why I need a video producer. Anybody want to be a free video producer? I need you. Can't afford you, but I need you. So they decided to block the Google Voice apps, and I was just got finished setting up Google Voice for my personal phone and for my show phone, and I thought that was a kick in the pants. So I sent out a bunch of tweets on Twitter, and people probably saw those, and they probably weren't really nice what I said, but like to the effect of screw Apple and all that stuff. But if I have to, I'll edit that out later. But yeah, I was upset, but I'm over it now. I think I might still end up getting one. However, let's talk about the BlackBerry world here. BlackBerry originally used to be just for business. You know, you guys agree? Well, you've been around BlackBerries a lot longer. Would you agree that BlackBerries originally were just for businesses?
Exactly. Yeah, they're designed in business in mind, as far as email, productivity, and just the features of the BlackBerry is what you need to run the business.
Yep. But now recently, probably in the last year or so, they started going towards the consumer market. Probably because they want to try to affect iPhone sales and stuff like that. And one of the ways they're trying to do this is they opened up their features. Well, they have features like cameras now. The older BlackBerry didn't have cameras. And they also have the new BlackBerry App World, where iPhone has their apps, and BlackBerry has Apps World. So that's one of the things that they're trying to get to the consumer market. The BlackBerry Bold is the first one we want to talk about. And Will, that's your BlackBerry, correct?
That's correct.
And so the specs, the quick specs on this, because I don't want to go over more than a half hour today, but the quick specs on the BlackBerry Bold is it has a 2.0 megapixel camera. And actually, I'm going to bring this up here on the screen so people can see this. That's the BlackBerry Bold, and it has where did I just lost where I was. Oh yeah, so the camera has a flash and a 3x digital zoom, built-in GPS with BlackBerry Maps preloaded. The media player supports DivX 4, DivX 5 and 6 partially supported, and then XDivX partially supported, and H.263, H.264, and Windows Media Video 3. So a lot of the popular ones out there, and some and the audio formats are AAC, MP3, WMA, MP3. So all the popular ones out there. That's good. You can also have make sure that you get an SD card if you're going to do video recording. And then the video recording for this, voice input. It has a 3.5 millimeter stereo headset jack, integrated earpiece microphone, and a built-in speakerphone. And then in the
Turn it down.
yeah, there you go.
Keep going.
Okay. Okay. So, and the other thing too is good about it is the display on it is 480 by 320 pixels, color display. Has a light sensing screen, so if you're in the dark, it gets dimmer, and if you're out in the daylight, it'll get brighter. That's my understanding of that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Trust me. And it has displays over 65,000 colors. Battery life, and I want to get your opinion on this, Will. The battery life that they state is a standby time of 13 and a half days, which comes out to 324 hours. And then the talk time is 4 hours. Let me know what you think about that.
Probably if you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but I've only had it last about a day.
And is that when it's when it's in standby mode, or do you just leave it on? Because
that's just leaving it on.
Yeah,
in the holster right next to me.
Yeah, 13 and a half days. That's when the power's off. I mean,
that's yeah.
I mean, come on. Well,
if you don't get any emails, I guess.
Yeah.
If it doesn't go ding.
Yeah. My phone always beeps on me. I get emails all day long. But what about the talk time? What do you think about the talk time? 4 hours.
The talk time, I can see that. As myself, yeah, I tend to talk a lot for what I do. So
yeah. Okay. I'll hold on. I switch my video back. Okay. So then the dimensions of it, the size and weight. Let's go with the talking about the size or the height being 4.8 inches. So I guess the height meaning if it's standing up like this. But it can't really stand up like that. And then the width is 2.6 inches. Depth is 0.59 inches. And then and it weighs about 4.8 ounces, which I think is the heavier of all these models. I think. I'll have to look at what I put on for the other ones. So Will, you come from a background of having Blackberrys before, right? Or other smartphones. Right. What other smartphones did you have, and how do you compare them with this?
I've had the BlackBerry Pearl.
Okay, so that's like a little phone, right?
That was half the size. It didn't have a full keyboard.
Okay.
It had a camera, but it couldn't do video. It couldn't record video on the phone.
Okay.
It had left to be desired for playing MP3s. It had an SD card. It was inaccessible. You had to take out the battery to be able to put the SD card in. Where the Bold, the SD cards are on the side. You can just pop it in and out live. You don't have to remove the battery. And Mike's showing you that now.
Whereabouts is that?
On that side, on the bottom.
On that side, that's where the card is.
That's where it is.
Also, it's a micro SD.
It's a micro SD.
Okay. Wait, no, that's. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, let me put that up here because that's different than mine. Get in there.
Yeah, the good thing is it supports the ultra high density class 2, class 4 micro SD card. So right now I got an 8 gig card in there. It only cost me like $15 off of Amazon.
Well, that's a cool place to put the SD slot. I'll have to show you what mine does because it's not harder like the Curve was. The Curve you had to take the battery out, and then you put the card in.
Exactly.
But this you just that's awesome. I like that.
And you can do it while the phone's on, so you can just hot plug your SD cards.
So I'm just going to plug that in my computer and format it for you? Okay. So that's cool. So what other things do you think that you like or dislike about it?
With that SD card, you can actually use a USB cable plug onto your computer and acts like a USB jump drive.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
So you can store data on it. It's like your SD card reader if you want to use it for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Other things is that using Pandora, which is a internet radio streaming application, I use that in my car. Has a standard headphone jack that will plug right into my car.
Okay. Well, that's cool. So I'm going to show this again one more last time, just so people can see it. But what I really want to do is, where is it? Oh, sorry, I just got Will back up there. I can't do it. I wanted to adjust Will's camera so we can see him better because I put the microphone in the worst place possible. But the next we can talk about is let's go and talk. We'll do a little summary at the end about your pros and cons on the Bold. Unless you have anything else to add to that.
No, that's good.
Okay. So we'll get to the pros and cons, and then the next device I want to talk about is let's go to the Storm, the Blackberry Storm. Why do I have that on there? Now there's my dad again. Hi, Dad.
Hello, Mike.
You have your background for smartphones. You've never had a smartphone before, correct?
No. Had a cell phone and even shut off the instant messaging on that, the text messaging.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do was make phone calls mostly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you get the BlackBerry Storm, you got more than phone calls that you can do with this thing.
The nicest thing about the Storm is they got a great camera. I think it's like 3.2 megapixels.
I
mean, it takes pictures. I mean, it's a great camera for that. I get embarrassed into getting one because all my associates that I know all have one. They're all sitting there, and here I am with my little, 19th century cell phone.
Yeah.
But I'm still trying it. I've only had this thing 2 weeks, and the first week was awful, frustrating, and I couldn't do anything. I'm finally able to return an email, and I don't. It's got the nice touch screen. I mean, it's got a nice keyboard that's touchable. But I'm still learning. I've got to make a decision in the next 2 weeks as to whether or not I'm going to keep it or go to the next level up. Some of the Blackberries have the rolling ball.
Yeah, that would be like the Bold and the Tour and the Curve.
Yeah, those are really nice.
Yeah. Well, tell you what. Let me just go over the specs quickly on that, and then we'll talk a little bit more because I want to make sure people understand what these devices have. What is this web page thing I'm getting here? Okay. So the BlackBerry Storm, we'll put a picture of it right now for you. Has like we said, a 3.2 megapixel camera. It has a flash, autofocus, 2x digital zoom, and it does some video recording. And like you said, the picture quality is really good. And the other thing it comes with is GPS, BlackBerry Maps, like all of them do, all the new ones do. Standalone and assisted GPS. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I think maybe is it like a GPS device you'd buy for your car. I'm not sure. Not sure what that means. I'll have to look that up sometime. And it does all the major video formats and audio formats. Also has the memory. It has 1 gigabyte onboard memory. That's pretty good for a mobile phone. And the flash memory is 128 megabytes of flash memory. And the other kicker is I'm not sure what the Bold came with, but this phone came with an 8 gigabyte memory card.
Yeah.
And a
lot of power.
Just to show people if I can remember how to open this up. Doesn't look like I can, but there we go. On the back of this is where the memory card is placed with the SIM card because it can be a global phone, and so that's the difference between the Bold. I mean, with this one you have to take the back off, put the card in or whatever. But most of the people I would think that don't really remove it as much, anyways. I mean, I know you, Mr. Mod hack guy, Will over here. He probably plays with the SD card a lot. That's a long story for anybody who's wondering what I'm talking about. so that's good. The display on it is 480 by 360 pixels, over 65,000 colors, and the screen size diagonally is 3.25 inches, which is a decent size for a screen. They tried to make this the iPhone killer, and of course it didn't turn out that way. Battery life, we'll talk about that. 15 days standby, so they're trying to up the bulb a little bit, and a 6 hours talk time up in the bulb a little bit as well. I think these are like in ideal, no apps installed.
It doesn't last as long as my old little cell phone.
Really?
Little small thing that I had for years.
You got to remember though, the phone is constantly getting email. It's doing stuff all the time. So
it's adequate. It's adequate though. Yeah.
Definitely, I think so. Okay, so what do you like and dislike about the phone?
Talking to me?
That would be you. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
The wrong guy in the video.
Well, I used the camera at a local town picnic last weekend, and it's amazing on the clarity. Now I've actually learned how to send one of the emails with the picture. I learned how to do that, but I haven't learned how to change the name, so it doesn't have just numbers. But I mean that is pretty good.
Actually, I can tell you how to do that. When right after you take the picture, there's a button that says rename. You gotta scroll. You gotta move over to that button, and it's called rename. And then you name it there.
I've got to learn how to scroll better. Yeah. I found, because if I scroll when I have my email in front of me, the keyboard comes up, and you got to scroll down again to get rid of the keyboard. Yeah. But I'm learning. I'm learning.
Well, the one thing that got a lot of flack with the Storm. I gotta get a new microphone holder here. Is that the keyboard? I mean, it was a great concept. And how do you get to the keyboard here?
Hit that thing that looks like dots.
Oh, okay.
Whatever the heck that is.
The menu button?
No, it says something looks like a keypad.
Oh yeah, show keyboard. There it is. So you can either do a keyboard in a small QWERTY keyboard in portrait mode, or if you move it,
you can turn it over. Yeah.
And it does landscape keyboard.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's really good.
That's a neat feature. And as you touch keys, they light up. You can't really see on the video very well, but they do light up, and it shows you what you're going to type. Yeah. Now, the one thing you have to remember with this phone, right? And you correct me if I'm wrong, but when you want to press a key, you have to press down on the keyboard, so you hear a click. You feel a click.
Yes.
That's the new Sure Press technology.
Yeah, and if you hold it down, the character will turn to a capital letter.
Oh, really? Okay.
Uppercase.
Those are like little tips.
Yeah,
for another show.
I learned that. I learned that by accident. The other thing is the keys light up, but what happens is if you're not right in the center, you'll get a different letter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it takes a little practice. I'm coming around.
Yeah, I mean it's a competitive. I get competitive to the iPhone's touchscreen, where you don't have that feel of actually pressing something. On the iPhone, this one you feel that click.
Yeah, you can feel it when you. Yeah. So you get that sensory feedback.
That's a neat feature. I do know a lot of people that don't like this phone because of that touchscreen though. I do know a lot of people that, and that's what I was actually trying to warn you about before you got it, just to let you know you might have problems with that.
Yeah. I see the people touching the other Blackberries little buttons, and I said, geez, that might be a little hard. I don't know. I got another 2 weeks before I have to decide to keep it or not. And I've gotten over the initial technophobia of using these things. So it is coming along. It's the touchscreen is nice. It seems to me to be too delicate. That's the one concern I have, because you can't just throw it under the seat or put it in your pocket. But I think I can learn to live with that too.
Okay. So I'm going to go over quickly. We're running out of time already. This is not enough time to do a show like this, I guess. But I'm going to go quickly over the Tor features and tell you how I like it. It has a 3.2 megapixel camera. It has autofocus, image stabilization in the camera, which is actually pretty cool. I never get a blurry shot by moving because of my hand movement. Mm-hmm. Let's put this up on the screen too. And then it has video recording, 2x digital zoom. GPS with BlackBerry Maps, but it also has picture geotagging, they called. So when you take a picture, it stores something in the memory of the picture, the longitude and latitude where you are. So you can always go back and say, well, where did I take that picture? Or you can use it for other things, searching or something. If you want to search for all pictures that you took in Canada, Quebec, Canada, or something like that. So you can actually search for that and use that. You can put that in Evernote, and Evernote does tagging too, geotagging. We talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Wow, jeez.
Will and I are Evernote users, and I'm trying to get my dad on it too. So Phil, if you're listening, we're working on it. The media player on the tour has 256 megabytes built-in memory, which can be expanded, which I did expand. I do have actually it comes with a 2 gigabyte card, but I actually already had a 4 gigabyte card. That's the back of the tour. You can see the SIM card, the red and black card, and then the memory card, which is right over here. So it does all the audio formats and video formats as well. Display is 480 by 360, and over 65,000 colors as well. Battery life is 14 days, talk time 5 hours, and the size is 4.4 inches. Height, width is 2.4 inches, the depth is 0.6 inches, and it weighs about 4.58 ounces. Now, what did we say that the this one was at the bold 4.8 ounces. So it's right on the same, about the same weight. Okay, so that's really, I mean, I think, as my dad said about the Storm, the picture quality on the tour is phenomenal. Like I said, I don't have any blurry pictures or anything, and the light and the flash on it is awesome too. I've used the Curve in the past, but the keyboard on the tour, the BlackBerry Curve I used previously, but the BlackBerry Tour, the keyboard's a lot smoother, a lot easier to the touch. So that's a good thing about it. But
before you forget, give me my camera so I make my Storm, so I can take a picture of you at the thing here.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay, so he's trying to do that, I'm going to get all three of us on the camera.
I'm trying to do it. What the heck am I doing here?
Yeah, so I got all three of us on the camera now, Dad. Hello.
Hello. Wait a minute. Got a problem.
We're gonna have him take a picture of me doing the video of the show. So that's just wonderful. And so I want to just go briefly over the pros and cons of the and again, I guess more dislikes and likes that you might have. Will?
Well, to start, it is bigger. It's like talking to your trifold wallet.
Okay.
When you're on the phone with it. So that's one thing I don't like.
Okay. Oh, that's great, because you came from the Pearl. And that's
I went from the Pearl, which is half the size. The other thing I don't like is the fact the battery dies. I had to get a card charger, just so I can charge my phone while I'm in the car.
Yeah. It gets more important now.
Yeah, it gets more important now. It uses MP3 player. So... where the other one I couldn't.
Yeah, well, you got to keep it charged while playing the MP3 player.
Exactly.
And like I use Slacker Radio, like you use Pandora.
Yeah.
And it's very convenient, but you have to charge the thing. I mean, you can't run it without batteries, right?
Exactly.
So what's your quick like and dislike, Dad, on the Storm? Even though you're playing with your phone now.
I'm playing with my phone. Mine is getting used to it being a little quite larger than my old phone. And also, I'm still concerned about the delicateness of being too fragile for the screen. But I think I'll be getting over that. I've had enough situations where I'm out of the office and I have to go to another location to sign papers or something. And getting that email on this really is great. You know, that works.
Okay.
It's positive. Of course, these things all cost more too. If you're buying it through your company, it doesn't cost you anything. Of course, your company buys it. But if you're buying it, if you're a small businessman or a personal use, it is another $30 a month or something.
Well, yeah. Well, that brings up a quick thing before we go, is the prices of these devices. I mean, usually it's a 2-year contract you have to get in order to get a subsidized price, and the BlackBerry Storm is, according to their site, where a 2-year contract is $99. Is that what you paid?
Actually, because I'm a selectman in town, I got 20% off.
Ah.
And because our contract had already run out for the last 2 years, it cost me $49 to go up from my little phone to that. So, and there's $100 rebate, which I have to mail in pretty soon.
Yeah, you better do that. Oh, if you decide
but
to keep it.
so the cost, if you're a government employee of any kind, there are discounts out there.
Okay.
Check those out.
So, but so for the normal people, I guess I want to call it normal people, it's $99 with a 2-year contract, and then for the tour, it's $199 with a 2-year contract. That doesn't sound right. Okay, well, maybe because it's a newer phone.
Yeah, but it's not that much when you get done because of the rebates or if you're re-upping a contract.
Oh, that's true. So, do you have the prices for the Bold on there, Will?
I do. With 2-year contract, it's $399.
Really?
Yeah. I think that's just the phone. I don't think that's the contract price. You'd have to go with like AT&T, for instance.
Well, yeah, you still have a plan you have to pay.
Exactly. So,
and they don't give you a charger for your car with this phone. So you got to go out and buy another thing, so that the upselling, as they say.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that really upsets me about the charger part of it is I had this BlackBerry Curve. I had the regular USB chargers, right? You can use any USB charger with it. Okay. Mm-hmm. They go and change the connector. They do this. They did this for the Nintendo DS, DSi, and DS Lite. They change the connectors for power for that. Not necessary. It's all about selling accessories. Really ticks me off. Well, it's because when they ordered it at work for the BlackBerry, they didn't know that. They didn't know the connector was different. So I get this thing. I have a home charger and a USB cable, and I have them at home so I can charge it at home because that's where the majority of the time I'm at home, right? Now I don't have anything in my car. I don't have anything at work to charge my phone while I'm at work.
Right.
I have things coming out my in regards to like cables. I have so many cables for USB Mini, it's called, than there's micro. Yeah. Very annoying. They do that. They do that to sell more accessories. Yeah. Stop it! Okay.
BlackBerry.
I'm sorry.
BlackBerry did the same thing. My Pearl adapter looks exactly like the Bold adapter. It's a different voltage. It's lower voltage.
Yeah, well, that's when they started using USB. Sort of. They did that for like Motorola phones too. Is like if you plugged something in regular USB, it would say unauthorized charger. Yeah. Really? Come on. I mean
and one other thing. If you go to any of the big box stores to buy your charger,
yep,
the first person I talked to said, "Oh, we don't sell that." And so I asked another person, "Oh no, we have some of those out back." So there's an education problem at the sales end for Blackberries and also for the accessories. That they're not fully trained.
Yeah.
Just be aware.
Yeah, I mean, I had this instance where I know we're going over time a little, but I had this instance where someone had needed a phone set up with Gmail, and somebody and the person that was helping them at the carrier didn't really have a good understanding on how to do it, and I tried to help the person over the phone, the tech person over the phone, and he just couldn't do it. So I said, give me the phone, I'll do it for you, and it took me 2 seconds. But so the training aspect of it, and I think maybe because one of the reasons why I think it is that feature of being able to use Gmail and all your other email accounts with BlackBerry is new. They didn't tell them how to do that, and they did not have that on the Curve, where you could say, okay, set up my Gmail account to use on my BlackBerry messaging service. Mm-hmm. They did not have that, so that's a new feature. That might be why.
I know this is going long, but also I look up at my little booklet. I want to know how to delete something.
Yeah.
There's no in the alphabetical listing. There's no delete. You can't. It doesn't say delete. Go to this page. It doesn't say delete at all. You have to go wander through the instructional booklet to find that.
I might be losing signal or something over there. You keep on cutting out. Okay, so those are some interesting things. I think that's really all we can really say about these Blackberries. I like them. I'm still going to get an iPhone. I just have to swallow my pride a little bit. But it's, I guess, it's the nature of the beast. The iPhone is the killer. Is the phone to have. I just don't want to spend that money. I really don't want to spend that money. So that's it. That's all I have for the show. If you guys have anything else to add, or
Nope.
no?
Good job.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, guys, for coming. Again, we have Ben Tartaglia from IDRA.com. That's International Disaster Recovery Association. We have Will Hebert from CPUText.net. Have him help you with your tech stuff. So next week's show, I have no idea what it's going to be about. So I'm going to leave you now. Just keep on checking back with twitter.com/tech with Mike. Follow me on Twitter. And I'll let you know what the next show will be. Until then, help you later.